Hi, guys. Hi. Welcome back to Storytime Society. Hi. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Love you so much. Today, my drink of the day, like last week, I think I had root beer. Okay? And the guy at the drive-through window. First of all, I accidentally went up to the window instead of just going to like where the menu is and you order through the speaker thing. And I like blacked out and I went straight to the window and I was like, "Hi, can I have a diet root beer?" And he was like, he didn't even act like it was not normal. So then he gave me my root beer and then he asked me for my number. And I was like, "Sorry, I have a boyfriend." And then he was like, "Well, can we be friends?" And I was like, "I don't think my boyfriend would like it if I gave out my number. Sorry." But yeah. Anyways, it was very interesting. It's always funny when I mean, even if I didn't have a boyfriend, I'm not giving you my number, you know? But like, I don't know, it's just funny. Like, wait, what? What do you mean? I'm a customer. Why are you asking me? No, I'm just kidding. That's okay. Shoot your shot. It's fine. But I just thought it was funny because he's like, "Can we just be can we be friends?" Like, sure, because that's what you want my number for. I definitely want to hang out with you for sure. Definitely gonna hang out with you. Yeah. So I thought that was funny. Maybe it wasn't funny, but to me it was, especially because I was like literally blacking out, and he was like, "Oh yeah, next time come inside," and I'm like, "Come inside? You mean like go to the menu and order? Because I don't want to come inside. Why do you think I'm going through the drive-through?" All right. Ooh. It says that President Trump is the first president to get convicted of a felony. That just popped up on my news thing on my computer. Okay, anyways, sorry. Um, let's get into story time. Like, subscribe, share, comment, because you know I love comments. I want to talk to you guys. All right. Let's make sure this microphone is on, because that's always my biggest fear. I think our first story is going to be, my husband asked me to leave while refusing to kick out our roommate who he cheated with. All right. Haven't read this yet, but I thought it was long, but it's really not that long. Okay, wait. Let me reread the title for like dramatic effect and get into the story. My husband asked me to leave while refusing to kick out our roommate who he cheated with. Okay, so it's as bad as it sounds. Obligatory? Is that right? Obligatory. I feel so stupid saying that. Obligatory, I'm on mobile. My husband and I have been together for about 8 years now. Most of our marriage was wonderful, and I thought he was a great man. About a year and a half ago, my friend asked if she could stay with us because she had nowhere else. My husband at first was against this, and I begged him until he agreed. She moved in, and everything was fine until a week ago. My husband comes to me and says we have problems last week. He doesn't like the way I'm behaving towards him. The only thing he says is wrong is that I had a mental relapse and started acting in a way he doesn't like. I tell him I will change. I tell him I'm just under a lot of stress because I work or go to school 7 days a week when he sits at home and no legal job. Now, at this point, I had a feeling in my gut that something was off. My roommate lets me borrow her phone, and I find hurtful messages he sent her asking for goodnight kisses and calling her pet names like honey. My heart breaks, and I confront him. He asks for a separation so he can think about if he wants to be with me and asks me to move out, at least for now. Even though this really hurts, I agree. The only thing I ask for in return is to make her leave too, since he clearly has a thing for her. He refuses. After we both talk to the roommate, she bursts into tears and goes into her room. My husband gets mad at me and asks me to leave because if I'm there, he will feel bad for going to comfort her. What about my comfort? I am his wife and have always been loyal to him. I'm so hurt and shocked. I never thought he was this kind of person. He wants me to give him time to decide, which I would do if it wasn't for the roommate part. I know other people have gone through way worse than me right now, but it just hurts so much inside. I just wish I could turn my feelings off. Why did he throw me away? I do not think a good man would do this to his wife. Make fun of me or laugh at me. I probably deserve it for what a fool I have been. How do I pick up these pieces and move on? I could wait for him if the roommate was gone, but it doesn't look like he will kick her out. Edited for typos and small update, more context because so many people asked. First, I am genuinely shocked at the amount of strangers that have said kind things to me. I tried to respond to as many people as possible. Thank you to everyone who had encouraging things to say and advice. It truly uplifted my spirit. There are a couple things I want to add and clarify. One, the house is in my father-in-law's name, which he lives there too, and has dementia, so I could not burden him with this. Plus, it is a single-wide trailer falling apart. Basically, my husband's gray area job is selling a pointy leaf plant in a legal state, but he doesn't report any income. My state is legal for recreational, but not legal to sell. Also, I know for a fact my roommate is committing welfare fraud and disability fraud because she brags about it. I did tell his family what was going on because I know he wouldn't tell them the truth. They offered condolences. He texted me and asked me why I told them, and now is claiming he never cheated on me, which hurts that he won't even take responsibility even when I screenshotted the proof. I have reconnected with some family members he convinced me were no good to talk to, and they have been a huge support. I am also talking to a lawyer. I can't stay there now for my safety. Felon in the house with weapons of metal variety that also expel metal and in USA. What? And concern for my own mental health being in such a toxic environment. I am safe currently. The mental relapse he is referring to is because I was diagnosed with OCD and BPD. He knows this, and I spent years in therapy to manage my feelings and symptoms. Okay. Well, first of all, you're right that a good man would not do this to his wife. So that's the first thing you should think about every morning when you wake up. Because no, like, that's honestly just gross. And he's obviously a disgusting person. So, like, that should just give you the ick. Even though, obviously, I know it's not that easy. But just think about that. Maybe, like, slowly it will start giving you the ick. Because, honestly, you're desperate and you're gross. If you're cheating on someone, your wife for that matter, with her friend that lives in your house because she had the heart to give her a place to stay. You're gross. Ew. Like, honestly, people that cheat give me the ick. I think if my boyfriend cheated, I obviously would not, like, it's trauma, so it would be very traumatic, and it would take me a while to get over, but I would have the ick from him. Like, I would love him, but not like him, you know? Like, I would just have the ick from him, and it would be disgusting, and I'd be like, ew, like, you're gross and desperate. You're gross and desperate. Sorry. Don't cheat on people. I mean, you could have asked for a separation if you were unhappy. And another thing, why this took such a turn when she added some things to clarify. All of a sudden, her husband is a drug dealer. There's metal weapons that expel metal in her house, and there's a felon in her house. So, like, what? Also, he sounds like a narcissist if he's telling you to not talk to family members. Unless, like, truly, which obviously doesn't seem like that, unless truly they were, like, very toxic and it was best for you to cut them out, which doesn't sound like that, then he is giving off a little bit of narcissistic traits. Because you don't do that. If, like, I would never tell my boyfriend to not talk to someone in his family unless it was someone like that he should just go no contact with because they're treating him, it's like there are people in families that deserve to be cut off. Like, I know someone comes to mind when I say that. No one really in my family honestly comes to mind, but I can think of someone in somebody else's family that comes to mind. So, yeah. That's really sad, and I'm really sorry. That was 2 years ago. I don't know how I find these 2 years old stories. I just, like, I'm always on Reddit researching so much, trying to find new stories for you guys. This isn't even new, but, like, stories that I haven't told, obviously. Okay, let's go to her username and see what's happening. Also, I'm in my comfy sweatshirt and my comfy sweatpants, my yellow sweatpants. I've been loving color combinations lately, especially blue and yellow. It's one of my favorites. And pink and red. So cute. So cute. And pink and yellow. And like so many other colors. Blue and red. Okay, sorry. Can I go to this person's page? Like, I'm trying to see if there's an update. Okay, let me actually just read a couple top comments from this post. The first one says, "Honey, save your dignity. Don't give either of them the chance to hurt you more and keep mocking you in your face. Find a good divorce lawyer before you make any decision about moving out of your own house, and then let them have each other. You don't need such people in your life." And then the responses to this are, "Absolutely agree with this. They're married and he's clearly breached his wedding vows, so divorce him and keep the house." My heart absolutely sank reading this. I've been with my husband for 8 years too, and the thought of this happening would absolutely destroy me. I sure hope this woman is okay. Yes, don't leave the house. He has no job. He can leave. Does he pay for the house? I could be talking out of my ass here, but I think in some states, etc., it can work against you to leave the house. For sure with kids. Not sure about property. Please look into legal ramifications of leaving before you do leave, if you decide to, but he can fuck right off and he can leave. It's possible he knows exactly what he's doing asking OP to move out. He's hoping it'll be easier to keep the house that way. Yeah. Do not leave the house until you have spoken to a lawyer. He's trying to have his cake and eat it too. I've been with my wife for 8 years and she came out as gay last month. I'll just let you imagine how it has completely shattered my entire world. I wonder if that's the person. No, because they weren't married. But from the last episode, the story about the girl coming out as lesbian. Well, it's not letting me go to her. I'm always yawning. It's not letting me go to her profile. So I guess that is the last update. Okay, let's see. This one I would like to read. 2 days ago, something went on between my female 32 husband, male 32, and my sister, female 26. What do I do? My head's a mess at the moment, so please excuse me if I'm all over the place. Yesterday morning, my husband got a bag ready without me seeing, came to me and told me my sister est his D. I think you know what that means. And that he thought it would be best if he left for a while and gave me space. That was it. I've pretty much left in the dark since. I've pretty much been left in the dark since. He seemed very stressed and upset. I just stood there a little dumbfounded. My sister has been going through a very hard time the last few weeks and has spent a lot of time at ours initially with her partner, but around a week ago they started having issues, so she just came and unloaded their problems. She came over Sunday night and ended up staying over, but I didn't notice them slipping away together at any time. So far, the only communication I've had with my husband has been about our child. I've asked him over and over what's going on, and all he tells me is he's still trying to figure it out. What is there to figure out? I can't believe that just like that, everything I know is in tatters. Everything we built together, everything we have, he's chosen to throw it all away and to just tell me like that and leave. I'm totally heartbroken. I never in a million years saw this coming. I also thought me and my sister had a stronger relationship as well. The betrayal from her has me feeling so lost right now. I've seen many horror stories on here with infidelity, and stupidly now I'm in this situation. I have absolutely no idea where I go from here. I know everyone will tell me to leave him, but it's more complicated when there's kids, houses, / a business involved. And I don't even know what's went on. No one will talk to me. The mental pictures are driving me insane. I'm not ready to talk to friends or family yet, so I'm asking Reddit, WTF do I do? Restarting life at 32 sounds like a nightmare. Girl, 32? You're young as hell. Restart, girl. Restart your life. If you think that... Okay, you have two options here. Think about it. If you think that staying with a man who lets your sister do sexual things to him and does sexual things with your sister for the rest of your life is better than just divorcing him and starting anew at 32 years old, you are so young. 32 is so young. Like, people don't... It's so annoying how normalized it is to be like, ooh, you're 30? Like, you're old. No, you're not. You're literally still so young. I'm 26 years old, and I feel like a 12-and-a-half-year-old. I feel so young. Like, not much has happened much developmentally in here for the last few years. Like, I still feel really young, and I still feel like... And I can't imagine at 32 I'm going to feel that crazy of a difference. You know, like, I'm sure I'm going to be a little bit wiser and a little bit more grown up, but I'm not going to be like, hello, madam. You know, like, I'm not going to be all of a sudden like an old person talking super sophisticated. I'm still going to be me, probably still feel younger than I am. And you are young. You're 32, girl. Go find someone that is not a freak. He's a freak. Who does that? Who hooks up with your family member? That's so messed up. So don't even think for a second that you cannot start over. Even if you're 40, 45, 50, do you want to spend the rest of your life with a man that is like this? No, that sounds like a nightmare to me. That sounds like way more of a nightmare than letting that toxic ass negative energy just leave your life and starting something new, you know, getting help, going to therapy, like growing, because you grow so much and you grow. I mean, I feel like I grew so much when I went through my breakups. So I can't imagine like going through something like this, also being married with a kid and all this stuff. You're going to grow so much. And although it's going to hurt like hell, you're going to grow so much and feel so much better when you come out on the other side, and you will find love again. Most likely, you're going to find love again. If it's not in 2 years, it will be in 5 years. Like, it will be whenever you're truly ready, and it's going to be okay. I promise you. I mean, I'm only 26, so it's not like I have all the knowledge and wisdom in the world, but I know it's hard. I mean, I don't know because I've never been in that situation, but I can only imagine how hard that is. And I know that it's going to be complicated, but trust, that is not worth spending the rest of your life with. You could live till you're 100. Do you want to spend the next 70 years with this man? Blech. Disgusting. And he doesn't even seem to care about working it out with you. So that's all the more reason to be like, see ya. And he will probably rot in his own misery because he's going to regret it. Okay. The edit says, many people suggesting I have money / restrict accounts. Oh, sorry. Many people suggesting I move money / restrict accounts. In a pathetic move, I text him again to ask what's going on and to please talk to me before I contact lawyers and secure my accounts, thinking this would get a reaction. He simply replied, saying, do what I need to do and that he can come back tonight to explain what happened. Depending on how this goes, I may or may not make an update post. I just don't get why I'm getting the runaround. Okay, the top comment says, I'd be confronting my sister in front of our parents. Everybody would know. You absolutely need to confront your sister. I would also stay laying the groundwork for moving your money, investments, etc. And start telling your family what happened before your sister tries to control the dialogue in her favor. Depending on how your conversation goes tonight, and if you truly love him, you're going to have a lot of therapy in your future. Okay, so there is an update. Let's go to the update. And let me take a drink so that I can clear my throat. Okay. Update. A lot of you were right. Something went on between my female 32 husband, male. Wait, I'm reading that so dumb. Like, am I okay? Sorry. I didn't mean to hit myself like that. A lot of you were right. Something went on between my female 32 husband, male 32, and my sister, female 26. What do I do? I wasn't going to do this, but I have had and am still getting lots of comments and messages for an update, so here we are. I've since spoken to my sister. My husband came home that night as well. He packed a bag with more stuff and sat down with me and told me what happened. We have rentals and he was staying in one that's currently empty. A lot of you were right. My sister straight up assaulted him. I'll try and keep this short, but I'll add some extra details I missed on my first post to clear things up. This all happened on Sunday. She's been going through a lot the past month, so this has been a regular thing. In the past few weeks, things were getting worse with her partner, so lots of venting. She said several times that night she didn't want to go back home, and told us that before she left, she also told her partner not to try and contact her because she was going out to get a break from him. My husband smokes a ton of cannabis, and this year started buying the oil, I think it is, and making his own caping cartridges. A legal country, that's why he makes his own. He mixes various strengths for during the day and much stronger ones for the afternoon. The whole night he was on the strong one and passed it around. We were all definitely feeling it, so I stopped and they continued well into the night. I said I'm getting ready to call it a night, and everyone agreed. I got up to see the dogs. We have a litter of puppies that we've set up a space for in the garage. I was gone maybe 5 minutes. Came back out to my husband on his own. Said my sister was in a bad way with the oil, so she went to bed. That's when we went to bed. He got up in the morning and left. My husband said this is when it happened. Out of nowhere, she grabbed the waist of his trousers, yanked them down, and went to town. Went as far as to actually grab his hands as if to stop him going from anywhere. It lasted maybe 5 seconds before he managed to get up. He asked her WTF was she doing. She just said sorry and went to bed. I knew going into this I was probably going to get lied to, but fortunately we have security cameras all around the house and the whole ordeal was on camera. He pulled it up on the iPad and showed me. I didn't actually want to see this act, but he insisted. He's terrified that even with proof, he's still going to get labeled as if he pursued this. He thinks that I'm going to leave him regardless and that he deserves it. He's scared he's lost his family and everything we have. My sister's partner left her last his last relationship due to infidelity, and my husband is ill over the fact that he feels responsible for it happening again. My husband is okay but feels totally guilty in all of this and doesn't want the fallout to happen at all. He wishes everyone could just forget it happened and go like normal, and I've told him there's no way that's going to happen. I finally got to talk to my sister. She hadn't blocked me, just ignored my calls and texts. We text her through my husband's phone, and while doing that, I noticed she actually had texted him a few times since this happened. Literally just a chain of, "I'm so sorry I fucked up. I'm so sorry I don't know what happened." Still nothing to me. Anyway, she called me and we put her on speaker, and I asked her what happened, thinking that she was going to lie, but she ended up saying the same thing my husband did. She couldn't give me a reason as to why. She cried the entire phone call. Woe is me. We all hate her now, etc. But yeah, no reason. She doesn't know why she's done it. It was the biggest mistake of her life. Apparently, she called in sick for work and has just spent the days driving around aimlessly, hoping a freak accident would take her out. I lost it, went completely apeshit on her. My husband kept trying to defuse it, which just got more annoyed. We had it out because I felt like he was defending her. His argument is that she is obviously not in a great place, and he doesn't want anyone in the position that they feel like they need to hurt themselves or worse. This did not calm me down, and I'm not proud of it, but I did go on to send her several texts telling her exactly what I thought of her. We also told her to speak to her partner because we plan to tomorrow, and it would be much better coming from her than from us. My husband really does not want to have that conversation with him, so that's pretty much where we're at. An utter shit show. Me and my husband will get through it together. I made sure he knows I'm on his side. We'll suggest therapy for him, but ultimately it's his choice. I don't see my sister's partner sticking around. Our kids are very close and see each other a lot. I'm not really sure what will happen there. But it's not fair on the kids losing out on that relationship. We have a lot to work out. Thank you all for your comments. A lot of you actually said this is what it sounded like happened, so I was sure to be as understanding as I could be. Wish us luck. Edit. To expand a bit more on the cameras, yes, in the back of my head, I know the cameras are there, but they were there before we moved in, and I really don't think about them. They're only outside the house. I have no idea how to actually check recorded footage. Husband has always dealt with them, and I had no idea when or where this actually happened. I have told him he has every right to press charges, but he's adamant he does not want the police or anything involved. Okay, I'm so sorry for calling you disgusting. That is actually really sad. And crazy that this is just crazy. Like, what? What's going on in your brain when you're thinking, like, when you do that to someone? I'm just gonna sexually assault this person for no reason and then say that I'm sorry. Like, what? And also, yeah, he probably wants to diffuse the situation because he doesn't, like, that's how you react sometimes to trauma, is you just don't want to make it a big deal, because that's just, like, I'm sure he's going through so much right now emotionally. And not only that, but, like, I feel like when it happens to men too, they feel like they have to, like, act tough and be like, it's fine, you know, like, it's whatever. But, like, it's not whatever. And you should for sure press charges on her. She literally admitted it. And you will literally have footage. Oh my gosh, okay. The top comment says, "It is great that you are supporting your husband here, but I want to give you some insight into assault victims. They often try and minimize what happened, both for themselves, aka it wasn't that bad, I'll be fine, and also because it is embarrassing. So he isn't defending her, he is reacting in ways to protect himself. Think about if something happens to you in public, like a friend plays a prank and pours a drink on you. You may try and laugh it off, and even in that moment tell yourself, this was supposed to be funny. It's funny. And then later you process how bad it made you feel. There are lots of situations where people minimize as a way to shake it off, act how they think people want them to act / protect their feelings. Your husband doesn't want to be the victim of an assault, so he is downplaying it. Don't get mad at him for that. Just be gentle and remind him that he didn't consent. What she did was terrible. He shouldn't be ashamed, and you are here for him. You also have to take his lead on therapy, police, and in general, and talking about processing what happened. You have to get your own head straight. Not that you don't. that you have visual evidence that he was sexually assaulted and who did it. You say your husband knows you are on his side, but even in your post, that's not really clear. You have gotten annoyed at him. You have said you are telling your sister's partner, even though your husband isn't sure. You need to center your husband and not yourself in the next steps. You are right to be mad, furious, and out for blood, but your husband needs you to be calm, even, and caring. Talk to another very trusted friend about your own feelings and how to process them, because you also need support, but your husband is the victim here, and you need to put him first at every step. Do not tell your sister's partner until your husband is ready. Do not push him further than he is ready. And when that is frustrating you, be calm with him and then go to rant to that one trusted person so you can get the support that you need. I love that. That was very well said, and like what I wanted to say but couldn't put into the correct words. That's super. I mean, I'm really hoping that he can get some help and therapy. That's so sad. I mean, it's really his decision. If he wants to file a police report, I understand with like trauma like that, you sometimes just don't want to, and you kind of just want to be like, forget about it, like, you know, whatever. But she does deserve to be persecuted for that, because that's absolutely terrible. Okay. What was the last story that I read? Like, I actually don't remember. Oh my god, this one's long. Okay. Wait. Oh. Oh my gosh. Okay. I love this. Someone posted, I think this is actually the first like post from someone in my subreddit. So if you don't know, there's a subreddit. The link is below. Go join it. Cross post, share posts, share your own stories, comment, interact, whatever, as much as you want or can. And I would love for you to be a part of it. All right, so I'm going to read this person's story because it sounds interesting. All right. My aunt stole almost $500,000 from me when I was 9 years old. I just read a Reddit story about a family fighting over a will after a death in the family, and it brought up a personal memory, so here it goes. This is a really long story, and I love to give way too many unnecessary details. Sorry, I can't help myself, so I'm going to split it up into sections. If you just want to know what actually happened, go to the How My Aunt Stole $500,000 from Me section. I love that. Okay, well, we want to know everything, so we're going to read all the sections. A little background info. When I was growing up, my parents moved us out of our house so we could move in with my grandmother, who had brain cancer. I was probably around 4 at the time. My grandmother needed someone to care for her and didn't want to move out of her house. She was an immigrant from El Salvador. She moved to the U.S. with my great-grandmother and my mother when she was 11 years old. She worked her ass off and was very proud of everything she managed to accomplish. She bought a house that she absolutely loved and did not want to leave it for absolutely any reason. Because of this, my parents decided to move in with her so we could help care for her. My grandmother had malignant brain tumors that kept reoccurring for years prior to us moving in with her. She always got them surgically removed and had probably had around 4 brain surgeries by the time we moved in with her. My parents both worked full-time and had very successful careers, so they hired an in-home nurse to make sure my grandmother had a caretaker when they weren't home. My grandmother was still very young, so she loved to stay active. She would walk me to and from school every day and take me on fun outings. My entire childhood is filled with memories of us together. I was never aware at this time, but as I've grown older, my parents have told me that my grandmother wasn't fully herself during the time that we lived with her due to all the past brain tumors and brain surgeries. My grandma absolutely loved me. as I was her only grandchild at the time that she died, and having me around gave her something to do since she could no longer work. Now to introduce my aunt and uncle. My aunt and uncle are my mom's younger half siblings. When I was younger, they were both in their early 30s and didn't have jobs. They both lived with my grandmother rent free and lived off the money they could get from her. Despite living with her, they both refused to take care of her, making sure she took her meds, taking her to appointments, making sure she ate well, etc. My mom was pretty much the only one of her siblings who worked extremely hard and got a lucrative career. She went to Berkeley, became a teacher full time, and then went to graduate school, got a master's while working full time, and now is a city manager. While my mom was doing all this, my aunt and uncle were doing nothing and living with my grandma rent free. They never even worked part time jobs. All of this to say, my mom was always super busy and focused on her career and her own family, but she was still the only one of her siblings always willing to take care of my grandma. Okay, so this is where I think it gets juicy. How my aunt stole $500,000 from me. After a few years of us living with and taking care of my grandmother, her tumor recurred. She was 64 at the time. Oh my God, she's so young. She saw her surgeon and she was told that he could remove it, but that it was a risky operation since she had already had so many surgeries. After her prior surgery a few years before, she had written a will that basically just said if anything happened to her, to sell her house, and she left all the money from that sale to me for a college fund, grad school if I choose to go, living expenses so I wouldn't have to work while in school, etc. She left everything else she had to my aunt and uncle. It wasn't much, maybe around $50,000 in belongings. My aunt and uncle weren't aware of this at the time. She chose not to tell them. She didn't want to leave any cash to them because she felt that it would force them to get their jobs and become independent. And she also felt that her letting them live with her rent free for their entire lives and them not being willing to help her when she needed it didn't warrant any large sum of money from her. Her house appraised at around $850,000 and she paid it off fully. She didn't leave much to my mom except for some sentimental belongings and her entire jewelry collection that was worth a couple thousand. So she explained to my mom that she appreciated all of her help, but she thought that my mom would rather have my college expenses fully taken care of than receive cash herself, since my mom highly values education and my parents both had good jobs and didn't really need any money from her anyways. My mom works in city management, as I've stated before, and my dad directs and develops casinos and also owns a small one of his own that he built from the ground up. My mom agreed with her reasoning and was extremely grateful for her contribution in ensuring I would be able to go to college no matter what. When my aunt found out, she was absolutely furious. She ended up getting my grandmother to sign over complete control of the will to her while she was in the hospital before her surgery. My grandma ended up having the surgery and the tumor was removed. She came out of surgery alive, ended up waking up from surgery, but then ended up passing away anyways a few days later. My aunt sold my grandmother's house, and after selling fees, etc., she ended up getting around $775,000 for it. The entire sum was supposed to be mine, but instead she took around $400,000, left $75,000 to my uncle, and gave me $300,000. I'm honestly surprised that she even gave me this much, but I'm definitely grateful because that money is going to help me get out a ton this year for college. My parents probably could have gotten a lawyer to fight it since she was literally hospitalized when she made the change and then died a week later, but they both grew up with nothing and built their careers all on their own, so they don't really care about money. They also knew that she needed it much more than we did, and $300,000 should still cover a majority of my college expenses, and they can easily afford to pay for anything that it doesn't cover. I also get free tuition and a monthly allowance for the government because of my dad's military services, so I should be fine anyways. My parents ended up cutting her off and moving us back into our house right after this. She also stole all of the jewelry my grandma had left to my mom. Not really an important detail, but it really shows how greedy she was. Ew. 8 years later, my parents completely cut off my aunt and haven't talked to her since all of this went down. But they know that she moved states, bought a house with the money she got, and then joined the military. She's married with kids now, I think. My uncle got a job, and now he has his own kid and house. My 17 oh, sorry. I'm 17 and starting college this fall, which is why my parents and I have been talking about my college fund and how I got it. I wasn't aware of any of this happening when it actually occurred because I was so young, but my parents recently told me the story with all the messy details, and I was able to piece together most of it from memories. Ew. Boo to your aunt, like for real. That's so screwed up because obviously your grandma knew what she wanted to give her and did not want to give her that much. So, like, that's so rude that she wouldn't respect her mother's wishes after she dies. And not only that, but you didn't even do anything for her. Like, you didn't even want to take care of her, and you just think you're entitled to her money in her house. And all the, like, I'm sure the jewelry, I feel like for me, ew, it's so sunny, would be sentimental. Like, I would really just I've always asked my grandma, like, please leave me some jewelry because I want to wear it to remember her, you know? And I'm sure that the jewelry is so cool because it's like grandma jewelry. And I just feel like grandma jewelry is cool. I don't know if anyone's with me on that, but I think I like grandma jewelry. Like, it's vintage, you know? So I'm like, Grandma, please, like, at least leave me like a cool ring or something that I can wear every single day, and then like it will remind me of you. But it's also like super cool and a sentimental piece of jewelry that I would never get rid of. So like, if my grandma left me her whole jewelry collection, I would be out for blood if someone stole that from me because I would be keeping all of that jewelry. I would not even sell a piece. I would want that jewelry and I would wear it every single day because grandma jewelry is cool and it's my grandma's jewelry and it's sentimental. So that girl can actually, I mean, whatever. At least you got $300,000, but it sounds like, oh, yeah, you're right. You said 500,000, but I was thinking since she sold the house for 775,000 that really she stole that much from you, but she did give you 300K. So technically she only took 500,000 because she took 400 and then left your uncle 75,000. But she didn't care about your mom. Well, probably because she's giving you 300,000. Well, that was very interesting. And also screwed up because I hate how that happens. Like when sometimes family gets so messed up after a death. For me, I truly believe, because I think the thing that you were talking about in the beginning, the will, fighting over a will, I think I know what story you're talking about. And I think that whatever is in the will should be honored. And I don't think that anything should be changed because that's like so rude to change something in the will. Like, I posted a TikTok of the story and on Reddit, and it was the two sisters. So the mom, yeah, yeah, the mom was like sick or something, and one of the daughters who was older was taking care of her for like 5 years. She like left her job and lived with her for years to take care of her until she passed away. The other sister was younger and she was living in a city, living her life, barely coming to visit, not helping out at all. And so their mom, when she passed away, in the will, it was written like most of the stuff and money was left to the older daughter that took care of her because she wanted to express her gratitude for that sister taking care of her, and then left only something small to the younger sister. And she wrote in the will that it was because she thought that the older sister deserved more, and that is totally okay, and that is totally up to you because it's your money, your belongings, and it's your will. That's like saying if she was alive and wanted to give someone money, like, oh no, give me half. Like if she wanted to give the older sister money while she was alive, like, here's $200,000, and then the younger sister was like, you better give me half of that. No, no, Just because she's dead doesn't mean her her request shouldn't be honored. That's what I think. But a lot of the comments were mixed on the post that I posted on TikTok. People were like, no, you should always split half and half with your family when your family member dies. No, I disagree 100,000%. You should not always have to split 50-50. You should have to split how it's written in the will, because that's why the will was written, because that's how the person wants their stuff to be allocated. It's honestly so rude. Like, you're stomping on that person's grave. You're pissing on that person's grave, technically. And being like, I don't care what you had to say. You're dead now, so I'm going to take half your money. No. I don't think that the older sister's being greedy at all for not wanting to give her half the money, because her mom didn't want her to have half the money. So she didn't give her half the money. Okay? It's as simple as that. Why are wills like even a question? You don't get the right to question it. It's that person's will. Would you want your will to be dishonored and have someone like fight to take half of your stuff when you wanted to give it to someone else? Because I wouldn't. I would be so pissed. I would be haunting you. Like, whoever I leave my money to, if they fight over it, I'm haunting that person. And I will not be a nice, friendly Casper. I will be a rude bitch of a ghost. Okay. So obviously that has no top comments or anything, because we have 31 Storytime Society members in our subreddit. So no one's commenting yet, but we will get there. I know we will. And it will be fun to read all the posts, and like, we're just all a cute little community. I mean, it's even having 31. Like, I love that. I love all 31 of you, and I love all of you guys too. Everyone who watches my videos, I love you. Especially if you comment, I love you extra. Okay, well, that's it. I'm literally sweating right now because the sun is shining so strong, and I'm wearing a sweater, a blanket, and sweatpants. And I'm just like, my under boob sweat right now. It's crazy. Do you guys ever, like, I know I'm not wearing a bra right now. Do you guys ever like hate the way that it feels when your boob is like overlapping your skin, and then like I'll tuck like my clothing piece under it so that it's just like, you know? Do you know what I mean? If you know, you know. But I'll like literally tuck it. That's honestly so sad that my boob is like hanging like that I can tuck something under it, you know? Like, I'm 26. It should be like up by my collarbones. But they never have been. Even when I was in 8th grade, they were literally like, I could tie them in a knot, wrap them around my head. Like, do your titties hang low? Do they wobble to the flow? Yeah, they do. They have always. And I have a thing called, not me oversharing, but you guys deserve to know. I have a thing called tubular breasts, and I didn't know about this phenomenon until about like maybe 2 years ago, when I was like, this has to be a condition or something, you know, like, it has to have a name, because there's no way in the world that I'm the only person that has these type of titties. So I looked it up, and they're called tubular breasts. And if you want to know what my breasts look like, you can look that up on Google. But they could be used as traffic cones. Paint them orange, set them on the side of the road. People are going to be dodging, because my titties are literally traffic cones. And I have always hated them and been so insecure about them. Like, so when they get hard, they get super perky. But most of the time, like, normally they are not, because my nipples change so much. And I hate it. Like, I want to get booby implants, but I don't want breast implant illness, you know? That's literally the dilemma. And also the fact that I obviously cannot afford a fucking breast implant job. Boob job. But yeah, that is my fun fact of the day. That was so much oversharing, and I'm so sorry if you just did not want to know what my titties looked like, but hopefully you have an image in your head of what they looked like or what they do look like. But anyways, child, I'm gonna get going because I'm sweating, and this episode is just over now because we already read the stories, a few of them. And I love you guys. And I think I already said all the annoying YouTuber shit that people are supposed to say. So I'm not going to bore you with that again. But I hope you come back for every episode ever after this and become a Storytime Society member on our subreddit linked below. I love you to death. Thank you so much. Till death do us part. Bye.